Hi guys, welcome to another video. Hope you're all keeping well. Now for this video, I'd like to review season 2 of a new American horror series. It's actually a Shudder original series, and that series is called Creepshow season 2. Now, before I say anything further about this season and give me my thoughts on the stories as a whole, I'll just read you the blurb at the back just to give you an idea if you haven't seen it. Right, now, it's still the most fun you'll ever have being scared. From showrunner Greg Nicotero from The Walking Dead comes the second season of Creepshow, the anthology series based on the 1982 horror comedy classic. A comic book comes to life in 9 chilling tales told across 5 episodes. Explore the terrors ranging from murder, creatures, monsters, and delusions to the supernatural and unexplainable. You never know what will be on the next page. So there you go, guys. That's the outline of this second season of Creepshow. Now, on to my thoughts now, guys, on the season as a whole. Didn't think much of it, guys, unfortunately. I so wanted to like this as well. I had the prior to watching this one and season 3, I did have the very first season of Creepshow, which I wasn't too keen on, but I subsequently heard that both season 2 and also season 3 were vastly improved on the original, the first series. So I thought I'd take a chance and pick the two of them up. I watched this one as well, but it's primarily this is the one I want to talk about in this video. Yeah, I didn't think much of it, guys, and just like the other one, I didn't think there was any real difference in the quality of the stories, unfortunately. Lovely colour, I must say, lovely picture quality, and it's got reversible artwork there, guys. Yeah. So, but again, like as I've said before, guys, about the aesthetics of these TV series, Blu-rays, and movies, quite often, the movie doesn't really live up to the aesthetics of the packaging, and this was certainly a case with season 2 of Creepshow. All right then, guys, so I'm just going to give it a couple of comments and thoughts on, the segments. The first segment was okay. It was basically about, I won't give too much away about the stories, but it's basically about this young boy. He's mad on horror. He's got all the horror figures in his room and that. He's got all the horror movies, all the horror comics, and he watches horror movies avidly. He's a real horror freak, and he even dresses up like Dracula, and all the monsters and that. And he's got this sort of like a rather nasty uncle who he takes a very dim view, of his nephew's love of horror, and he's a right bully. But as is often the case with these horror segments and that, the baddie usually gets his comeuppance, and the baddie in this gets his comeuppance in a big way. But yeah, that was about the only good one, really. Well, I thought to myself, starting off with a good story, I thought this bodes well for the rest of the segments. But boy, was I disappointed, guys, as the subsequent segments got worse and worse and worse and worse. So there you go. Yeah, but as I say, the first one was the best one. The little boy who's mad on horror and that. And but now there was one particularly annoying episode in this, guys. It's basically about this guy. He's a kind of a scientist, and he's got this machine, like a virtual reality machine. And what happens is, when you get into the machine and fiddle around with the buttons, you're transported to it. He's got like a list of horror movies on the machine and that. And you transport it into a horror movie of your choice. Now he picks Horror Express, the 1970s horror movie starring Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee, with that monster's on the train. Well, it's more of a demon, really. So he's sort of like transported into that, and you see him. It's a bit mad, really, because you actually see him. The way they've done it with the CGI, he's conversing with Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing as if he's actually starred in the movie and that. But the way they've overlaid it, you'd actually think he was part of the movie. But I thought that was a bit of a cop-out, that, guys, because that's supposed to be a new story, and he used most of the Horror Express footage. I thought that was lazy writing, so I thought to myself, how dare they tarnish the good reputation of Horror Express by putting this annoying character, into sort of like weaving him into the story and that. I thought that was really mad, that. And as I say, a real a good example of lazy writing, yeah, I didn't like that one. And then the one after that revolves around the Necronomicon book, as made famous by H.P. Lovecraft. Yeah, it's basically about this. Like it's like a kind of antique show on American television. You've got this expert and that talking to the to the host and that, and he's got the Necronomicon on the table. You know, the notorious book that was featured in the Evil Dead and other kinds. As I said before, as made famous by H.P. Lovecraft, and it's popped up a lot in other horror movies. The Necronomicon. So anyway, to cut a long story short, he opens the book on the TV show, and all hell breaks loose. He sort of like he chants sort of like some of the ancient texts and that. Always a bad idea in a horror movie, chanting text from a book as a malevolence as the Necronomicon. And basically they all turn into like Evil Dead clones, just start floating up in the air and their eyes roll up on the head and that. Oh yeah, it was stupid, guys. It really was. It was very, very poor homage to the Evil Dead franchise. And and a couple more stories in this one are instantly forgettable. Another thing I didn't like, guys, they put animated stories in as well. I thought again that was a waste of a good story segments, throwing in animation, or horror animations. That was another minus, like, about this season, and the Christmas special was real pants, and I mean pants. It was utter rubbish. I ended up switching it off. But yeah, very, very disappointing this, guys, this season 2 of Creepshow. There's a couple of stills, guys, from the segments there. So very, very disappointed with the guys. It really was. That's the Crypt Keeper, their version of the Crypt Keeper. And you've got like the comics as well, like in the Creepshow movies, like the comics. You show the comic book at the opening of each story, and it sort of like morphs into the actual events, the real life events and that. I don't think I really like them using that comic book effect too much. I think it detracts from the story. Amicus didn't need to do it. They just got on with the story and that. They all right. Maybe they had maybe a Crypt Keeper character like Ralph Richardson in Tales from the Crypt. But yeah, I think they'd taken this comic book into a live action saga, guys, a bit too far. So it's just become corny now. I don't really go in for all this, like starting off as a cartoon. Like for example, you might see a boy passing a shop with all horror comics in, and it morphs into that opening scene of the segments. Yeah, I'm not really a great fan of that. But this was extremely disappointing, this, guys. And unfortunately, this was as well season 3. So I don't know if they're making any more of these and that, but I don't think I'll be getting any more. This was even worse, guys. This was even worse than season 2. So 3 bad seasons there, guys. Creepshow season 1, Creepshow season 2, and Creepshow season 3. Yeah, but as I always say, guys, this is just my opinion. I'm not trying to put you off. If you want to get them and see for yourself, you might like them, And another thing I didn't like, guys, they put just like season 1, they put like comedic elements in. Always a bad idea when you're trying to make a good scary horror movie. Be it a horror anthology, be it a horror TV show, or in my opinion, always a bad idea if you're putting corny one-liners and comedic scenarios. They did the same with part 2 of it. They didn't really treat that seriously that they should have done. You've got to be very, very careful. As I said before, you've got to be very careful when you're putting humour into horror, because you can overdo it now, and it just ends up making the story look ridiculous. Yeah, but that's my opinion anyway. But as I say, you might like these, guys. I mean, I'm not trying to put you off. If you want to get them and order them and see what you think of them, But yeah, as I say, guys, very, very extremely disappointing season, and I've already put them on eBay, I regret to say. But that as I said, that segment's putting Horror Express in. Oh, that really got up my nose. That, I thought to myself, I said to my mum, how dare they, use, not only sort of like exploit a classic horror film from the 1970s, exploiting it and sort of like exhibiting a prime example of lazy script writing, But yeah. So all in all, guys, when it comes to a rating, collectively, I would give the Creepshow seasons 1 to 3. I would give them just maybe I'd give them maybe 2 out of 10. The picture quality was lovely in that. And another thing as well, guys, they seem to be relying too much on monsters in this. Sort of like it was more. It seemed to be more of a monster show than a supernatural on that. Too much reliance on cheesy special effects and that, and yeah, very a missed opportunity, guys, in my opinion, with this these 3 seasons of Creepshow. I just wish there'd have been better stories and that, because it would have been great. These would look fantastic on on me shelves, alongside the Twilight Zone and that, and Thriller and that. They would have, and Night Gallery. They would have looked, they would have looked fantastic, But as much as I hate to have to say it, guys, I'm gonna have to let them go. So as I say, I'll put them on eBay and that, and I don't think I'll be revisiting this season. Yeah, very poor, and an immense missed opportunity, in my opinion. All right then, guys, and that concludes my review of season 2 of Creepshow, and also some, of course, some comments on season 1 and season 3. Have you seen any of these seasons? Have you seen all of them? What did you think of them? Have you got a favourite story? Let me know in the comments down below. I'd be very interested to hear your views on this this season. Yeah, I just hope they don't make a 4th one, guys. Just going from bad to worse as they go along and that, and as I say, I definitely won't be adding these to my collection. Yeah. All right then, guys. So as I say, that's my review of the Creepshow season. Yeah. With the usual, if you like the video, please feel free to share, subscribe, comment, and all going well, I'll be back again very soon with another video. Take care. Have a nice weekend. Bye for now.